Okay, the recording has started. This is the April 23rd, 2019 Rook community meeting. And the biggest topic for today will be the 1.0 release. We had targeted this week to get that release out, so we need to do a check and see where we are. My first concern was around the release convergence and how we all stay on the same page. So I'm going to talk about that before we get into the specifics of the release. I've seen, a number of side conversations amongst different audiences about the release and what's left and all that sort of stuff. So being able to have a more cohesive and converged discussion about the release and the tasks, assignments, expectations, and all that, I think is probably going to be very important instead of people working more siloed. So I think we're kind of getting to a point where we have enough moving parts and enough independent storage provider teams with their own commits and stuff that I think we need to do a better job here of maybe having like a release committee or some sort of a group that's focused on the high level tasks or responsibilities for the release and kind of tracking that all in a single place that the entire community can keep up to date with it and have everything in one place. Does anybody have any thoughts about that, or have you seen the same thing and have the same concerns?
I definitely agree on that, because it's like, we in the silos of storage providers, it's like we don't really have visibility, or we haven't really communicated besides here in the community meeting as far as what's going on across them. So if we're getting ready for release, we should have something that tracks that and communicates it for sure. Well, the answer is, but I agree.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, one possibility could be, a dedicated Slack channel for the release. That could be one thing, or shared doc or something that, we're tracking everything more appropriately. I'm sure there's better ideas as well. But yeah, I think that there is a need for it though.
I mean, we do have the release board, the GitHub board, where we're supposed to track things as far as what's left for the release. And if we...
That the project board or...
The project board, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if we were just stayed on top of that, it would be more clear what state things are in, although it doesn't really represent how long it'll take to get them done.
Yeah, I think that, we pretty much exclusively only track code changes in there. And there's a number of tasks that, do not result in a change to the Rook repo. Like the blog post or updating the CNCF, page, or, marketing efforts, or, all that sort of stuff. That's not tracked on that board. I am most certainly not against tracking stuff on that board so that, we have like a Kanban style view of everything that is, that's remaining. But currently we've only done code changes on that board.
Right. So just what comes to mind is what I've seen in the Kubernetes SIG groups as far as a spreadsheet that tracks what's happening and who owns them and things. That seems like a nice approach.
I'm wondering, one thing I've noticed that works really well in general is to have as much, convergence as possible. So I'm thinking more now about, instead of going to external sources like Slack or shared spreadsheet or something like that, the idea of potentially tracking all this on the 1.0 or whatever the current pending release board is might be the best place. So there's only one place to be looking at that. And if you keep all those issues updated with comments, then everything is available, in a single place potentially. That's, kind of the philosophy of GitLab, that since they have an entirely remotely distributed workforce, like everything gets captured in an issue. And that's kind of the, persisted means of capturing all the discussions and information. So that has some merit in terms of at least having a single place to go to get the latest updates and not have to crawl through Slack channels or other external sources potentially. It's not, spreadsheets have a nice, tabular, with row and column type of format, and you can do filtering and stuff on it, so it has those types of advanced visibility and insight options. But there is merit to a single place to get all the information necessary all in one place.
Yeah, I mean, if we just keep the project board up to date and everything in there, there's no reason why we can't put non-code items in there. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now, honestly. And you have clear assignments as well. That's built into there, so that might be a nice place to start.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. No new process, just be more proactive in using our existing process or fine tune it.
Okay. All right. So let's dig into, excuse me, what actually we have to do. So let's actually start looking at that project board right now. All right. So, this won't have the items for, the external stuff, like non-code changes, but we'll talk through those in a little bit. So let's talk about code changes right now. So Travis, do you want to start with blocking items or things that are left for Ceph?
Yeah, I'm just looking through this list. In the in review column, 2379, it's really a common upgrade issue that just needs review, and I think it'll be ready. 2918, I think I'll move it out of 1.0 because 1.14 is just really adding it to the CI, and there's no real blocking issue there. No known issues with 1.14. It's just getting the CI to work.
2918?
Yeah.
But is the CI still not working for 1.14?
For 1.14, there's a Helm. The Helm chart is failing to install, and I just haven't had a chance to try it locally. Is what it comes down to.
So I had left a message in the dev chat this morning about dependencies with 1.14. I had updated my local, Rook repo just this morning, and had, did all the 1.14 stuff, and doing like a make disk clean to get rid of all the images and all the vendor stuff, and then do a make vendor. I was finding some dependency failures, some dependency solving failures from dep, which I don't think we're seeing on Jenkins. So I don't know what quite to make of that, and I was wondering if anybody else had seen that.
I'm behind on Slack this morning, but make vendor is working for me at least. Anybody else?
Did you run into that like locally while you were doing the initial updating to 1.14, or you never saw anything like that?
I haven't seen that. I mean, updating the dependencies worked for me. If you haven't updated them for a while, because we moved the dependencies to 1.12, and then it was a bit later to 1.14. So maybe. Did you say you deleted your vendor directory even?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Make disk clean cleans up the entire vendor directory, all the stale images, and even gets rid of the dep tool too.
Yeah.
That should be pretty thorough. So I guess, okay, so if you haven't seen that, then I'll have to keep looking into that. My priority also is that I'm speaking at 2 different technology meetup groups here, one in LA tomorrow, and then another one in San Diego the day after, where I'll be giving Rook demos and stuff. So I'm going to need to get back to a good state to be able to demo and stuff.
Yeah, we'll look at that.
It's a busy week, huh?
Slightly.
Okay, so keep on going then with the with stuff.
Yeah, and then a couple others in progress. So we've got upgrade issue. Well, there's the upgrade guide that Blaine's got there. I think we just need to get that done. Blaine, any comments on the upgrade guide? or what's left with it?
Just awaiting feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I haven't looked at this morning yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just finishing off, getting it merged.
Which one is that? Was that one of the pull requests, or is that
I was looking at 2960 in progress column, but it's really in review.
in progress?
Actually,
this one here?
Yeah.
Boop.
And yeah, that's part of the upgrade guide, documented upgrade guide, that command in that issue. Okay. The 2973 is, I think, the biggest blocker in my mind. Upgrading from Mimic to Nautilus, Ceph upgrade, doesn't work right now, and I'm going to talk to Sebastian in a couple hours about that, so we can hopefully get it done tomorrow. But it's not a super simple issue either. So that's the biggest risk in my mind. There's then a couple of other issues. Noah's working on the self-signed cert hang for the dashboard. Oh, actually, in the 1.0 patch release, that column, I'll skip over that because we decided that those could wait until a patch release if we need to, which I think I like that column, so we can separate what's blocking right now for 1.0 versus could wait to a patch release.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So then in the first column now, I just added 3029 to the 1.0 release, where we're detecting RBD devices to trigger an orchestration. I think that'll be a simple fix, but Noah and I are going to talk about that more. And it could be a patch release, I guess is what I'm saying, but I'd like to get it in 1.0 as well if it's simple. And then 2945 may need to wait for a patch release, but it's kind of a blocker for RGW. If you try and, with the 1.0 operator, which is based on Nautilus, if you try and configure a Mimic cluster with RGW, it basically fails. It sets it up incorrectly because of a compatibility issue there between versions. So I'm going to work on that one today. That's going to be my focus, among other things, and have a better idea if it needs to wait for a patch release or get it in for the release.
Sounds good. Any other Blaine or Alexander, other folks have comments to add about Ceph issues?
Actually, one more I'll comment on 3014 in the to-do column. It's actually, there's a PR in progress to fix this, which would not be aggressive about setting no out when any node is in maintenance. It would require a specific taint. So Blaine, if you could look at that one, that'd be great when you get caught up. And then I think that's it.
So let's so in summary, what are the biggest risks or the long polls for Ceph?
Yeah, for Ceph, the long poll is the upgrade issue 2973. I think the other ones we can manage or wait for a patch release. And in my mind, Thursday I'd like to target, by the way, and depending on that 2973, that's the target in my mind.
Alrighty. I see Giannis is on the call. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Jared.
Hey, man.
Hey, Travis. Hey, Alexander. How are you doing?
We're good, man. We're good. So for 2533 here, it doesn't look like that's been started. So I don't think that's still a 1.0 issue. Do you think so?
Oh, sorry about that. I'm on my phone and it keeps falling off. So, there's actually a PR in progress for this, right? We have done some work together, Jared. I think you have give it one review pass. Yeah.
Right. That's paging back in now.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah. It
that's
was
me.
a couple of weeks back. I'm hoping to get this in. I'm not sure if I will be able to devote the time necessary for this to make it in. I'll try to squeeze it this weekend. Oh, actually, not this weekend. So the Greek Easter holiday starts on Thursday. So if I still have time on Thursday or Friday, I should be able to push a new version for a review. But Jared, if you're busy and if it's too late for the 1.0, that's okay.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
a.
what about
Oh, go ahead.
what about what about getting it in for patch release?
Yeah,
that's
so yeah,
some
that's.
stuff.
I was gonna say that it sounds like with the tight timelines and potential here that I would call this not critical for 1.0, and I would push this one out. I think I think we might need to have more conversation about what we are calling like what we want to do for patches and like what criteria we use to backport things and send those include those in patch releases. But I think that parking it here now at least will give us I think we can kind of have this as a bit of a parking lot for issues that we know we don't want to block the 1.0 release, but then we'll be able to either opportunistically get them in if we have time and things get reviewed and it's at quality and all that stuff. But we know that it's not blocking the release, and that's kind of the critical part right now of converging. So I think that this is a good place to put it for right now if everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, it sounds good. And okay, so let's continue, and I'll mention another issue I wanted to at the end.
Alrighty. Okay, so is anyone from EdgeFS here? It doesn't look like the EdgeFS guys, excuse me, were able to join. We had taken a look at their transition to beta, and I think part of the initial feedback there was some sort of migration support or an upgrade support for existing users that have already deployed EdgeFS. And I think that I remember that they incorporated in like a manual upgrade guide, which I think is perfectly fine for me. Alexander, do you remember any of the more latest status on this effort for EdgeFS?
I'm not sure. Could you click on it? Maybe I've already reviewed it again.
Well, and technically, typically something in alpha isn't supported until it's in beta as far as upgrades, although we'd like to, and if they created one already, great.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade.
Yeah, so you had requested changes still, Alexander. So it looks like we need to, I'm going to add a comment here for those guys to take a look at it again.
Yeah, I asked about it in the dev channel yesterday as well because I caused a bunch of those merge conflicts, and I don't think I heard anything back from them. Yeah, no response from Anton.
Maybe they have like Easter holiday or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of holidays this weekend.
Okay, so we'll follow up with them on that. I know that this was definitely an important item on EdgeFS's list for getting into 1.0 to transition to beta. So let's hope that they will be able to follow up on it shortly. Okay, what else do we have here? These are all ones that we talked through. We talked through those. I think the only other one that I I was interested in is that we have this pull request already open for adding dynamic provisioning to NFS, and I would love to see that in the milestone included, since it's already, we're converging towards wrapping up that pull request. So I just added some more comments this morning, and I would love if Rohan, if you could take another look at the functionality here, because Ashish had added some. Is Ashish on the call? I don't think so. Ashish had added some new updates to this pull request, I think, since the last time we looked at it. So if you could take another pass through here and look at the functionality and make sure that this is looking good, then I would definitely appreciate that.
Cool. I will have a look. And Ashish gave me a demo, and which was really good. And
that's right. Well. Yeah, you're right. Cool. Yeah, that's. I would love to get this in 1.0. So let's focus on driving that one to completion.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Rohan. Okay, so that looks like everything on the board there. We don't look to be in terrible shape. I think that we don't have like a column full in the to-do or anything like that. So we've got a couple long polls for Ceph upgrade. We don't have an updated status on EdgeFS transition into beta. But I think that we're converging here and trending in the right direction and fairly close as well. It's we're not going to do this today, but I think we're trending towards the right direction here, so that's good.
So as far as a target, does Thursday?
Let's talk through the rest of these items first, Travis.
Sure.
Go in order, buddy. See this?
Oh,
here?
there it is.
Come on. Order. I will have order in my meetings. All right, so the other things we need to do outside of the code base are we need a blog post update for 1.0 for the Rook.io blog, and the CNCF is also wanting to do some marketing and some support for us here. So like PR stuff. So what we traditionally have done is that the full content detailed blog post for Rook.io, we kind of we finish that and start integrating in feedback and all that stuff, and then we give the CNCF a kind of a smaller, more streamlined version of that then links over to our blog. The CNCF I think needs a couple days of lead time, which we haven't even started this blog post, so this is absolutely a risk and a concern that's started to hold up the release.
Yeah. So we want them to post at the same time as we release that.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, is to be able to publish it the same time as the release goes out. Coordinate that somewhat, and they need a couple days lead time, I think.
Right, and we just need a draft of our blog post. Yeah,
exactly. So, and I think that having a good understanding of the big features here, I don't think we have maybe the pending release notes might be a good start of that, but for each storage provider, having a good idea of what the highlights are, the things that we want to show off in the blog as a focus on the blog post is going to be really, really useful there. Is there anybody who's already very excited about the opportunity to write this blog post?
Well, I'd be excited. I just have a lot of code to write in the meantime. So
yeah, yep.
That's honestly.
Just think of it as code then. Just think of it as
code.
And then it's
right.
Yeah,
blog post compiler.
What about maybe? I think I saw Dimitri join the call.
Hey, Dimitri.
Maybe the EdgeFS guys to put it like that, if that is fine.
Jared, I can take a stab at the blog if you want.
Let's talk about that together then, Bassam. Maybe we can put our heads together on that one then.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and then we need to update the CNCF KubeCon keynote. They do project updates for all the CNCF projects, and so we need to pass that over to, I think Brian Lyles is who needs that, and that'll be fairly simple after we've done the blog post. It'll just be like a bulleted list, so I'm not worried about that one. We're trying to update the Rook.io website, and Stephen is one of our coworkers at Upbound has started working on this, and I saw some great progress last week about pulling that all together. Stephen, do you have an update on what's left for updating the website, or what are some like coordination that you need from other folks in the community?
Yeah, so it's actually almost pretty much done. The only remaining pieces are the copy that needs to get added in, that's final, to replace all the lorem ipsum, and the Esque Cinema recordings. Those are really the last two pieces. Everything else is buttoned up.
Awesome. Do you want to go ahead and open like a work in progress pull request so we can start reviewing the changes and getting feedback in? Because that's not necessarily dependent on the final copy and stuff. So if you can get a pull request open and send a link out to the Rook Slack, then that would be great to start getting some eyeballs on reviewing that.
Yeah, absolutely, not a problem.
Just curious at a high level for the ASCII name it recordings. So with the different storage providers, do we have like one for each one, or you can have a tab to select them, or what's the approach?
Yeah, the way the design's set up is there's like a little fake terminal window, and you can select the different storage providers to show the different recordings. So when you toggle them, it swaps out the recording with the one that you selected.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
it's actually pretty slick. I really like the design, and I saw Stephen give a demo of it, and it looked really cool. So I told Stephen that I would get some recordings of that terminal output. The interesting thing for that, though, and I need to look into this, or maybe somebody already has some expertise on it, that the ASCII. I have no idea how to pronounce that damn word, so I just call it ASCII Cinema. ASCII Cinema. Anywho, ASCII Cinema is that it records like the straight output from your terminal prompt, and in the limited space on the website, we want it to just be like the created deployment, Rook ready, blah blah, what are like very simple output, but in reality, our deployment scripts, install like role bindings and all these CRDs, and it's like a fairly long output. And so I'm wondering if there's a way to tell ASCII Cinema to, like this is the output that you want to use, as opposed to necessarily capturing all the real dirty, grimy, gritty output.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So you can actually modify, when it does a recording, it basically just outputs into a JSON file. And you can modify that after the fact and just remove the lines that you don't care about.
Oh, cool.
So the one that's currently on my staging site that I set up, I modified already because it had some output that wasn't going to fit in that area. So I just deleted that whole section out of the JSON file. And then you just have to like tweak the timing of the file itself because it has some variables in it to determine how long it should actually play for. But you can actually modify those after the fact. Another option is we could probably build those files based off of the one that I already have rather than trying to record them. So if you have like a screenshot or even just like a copy paste of what the terminal output that you would want to see for each one is, I can probably just generate those files based off of the existing one.
Oh, that's good. That's really good information, Stephen. I didn't realize that you could manipulate or edit the artifacts to change what the final product is. That makes things a lot easier. So let's so I'll work with you then to get that final information instead of like worrying about full recordings and stuff. So I'll work with you.
Okay, great.
That sounds great. And Steven, maybe you need some input for the various storage providers, maybe what commands to run or something like that.
I think we have all that in on lockdown already, because we have all the documentation there, like the main command, like installing the operator and then installing or creating an instance of the CRDs that it exposes. So I think we're good there, but I will definitely track down each and every one of you that I need if I need it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I know where you all live.
A couple of weeks ago, by the way, there was a change to the Ceph manifest. Did we get the new common.yaml as part of this recording, or we can follow up afterwards?
We'll I'll make sure, Travis, that it's what's going to be in the 1.0 release, that it's not any stale old stuff.
Cool.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so great progress, Stephen, on getting that website updated. We'll get Stephen will open a PR with the changes. Okay. Yeah, really happy to see that. And welcome to the Rook community too, by the way, Stephen.
Hey.
So, okay, then the other thing that we wanted, that we've been working on is some updates to our governance of the project. One of the issues that we have is in velocity of code changes, and so we've been working on some updates to that to be able to empower the individual storage providers to get changes accepted and approved and merged into master easier without a complete bottleneck on the current maintainer team. So we want to do that for 1.0, but that is not a strict dependency of it needs to go into the 1.0 bits or anything like that. So that's not completely tied to the release vehicle and process, but we are absolutely prioritizing finalizing this and getting things updated so we can remove some of the pain points we have around code velocity in the repo right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excited about that. So we can.
This is good.
Velocity.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and then so let's talk dates now. So for the CNCF, I think that they need at least 2 days or so. I don't know if it's 3 or not, but from when we give them a blog post to when they can do marketing and stuff like that. So then Travis, you were talking about Thursday. I'm wondering if maybe Thursday or Friday is the right timing to track towards.
Or can we give Dimitri a second to update us on EdgeFS?
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I was sidetracked on a different meeting.
Yeah.
So we have just one outstanding, which is transition to beta. We're still testing it, so give us another 2 days maybe, and then we will be ready to merge. We're almost there.
That sounds good, Dimitri. And then there is we updated a comment a few minutes ago about being able to incorporate Alex's latest feedback, which I think
It's there. It's already in the branch Anton is working on. Yeah.
Awesome. And then there's a couple of merge conflicts that will have to be dealt with, but I don't think that those look like they're largely generated code, so they shouldn't be too bad, I don't think.
Yeah, should be easy.
Awesome. All right, thanks for the update, Dimitri. So it sounds then like that, targeting Thursday, Friday, end of week type of thing seems to be in alignment for all the different requirements and tasks that we have.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds good. And, so Ceph does have a number of issues, so we need to just make sure I'll track converging on those two.
So let's, and then in the spirit, let's try this for this release. Let's go ahead and open up issues on the 1.0 project board for the other outstanding items we have here, like the blog posts and stuff like that, so that we're tracking everything for the release in one place and see how that goes for this release. And if the process is rough or we want to make improvements, then we can do a postmortem and decide on something better for the next release. But maybe we can just do that, try that out for the rest of the week here and try to get everything tracked in one place so everyone knows what the latest status is and what's left.
Yeah, sounds perfect. So you'll open those, Jared?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and if we could just make sure they have labels on them so we know they're doc issues or non-code issues or whatever. Just it'll probably be clear in the title anyway, I guess.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so that is 1.0. Does anybody have anything else to talk about for 1.0?
I have something to talk about. It's not exactly for 1.0, but it's relevant generally. So I just want to, I also remind myself, but I want to remind that there's the GSOC running, and I got the proposals the other day. I'm not sure if you guys have had time to read them. I think Jared, Travis, Rohan, and me are mentors for some of the projects. I don't know if I don't remember if anyone else is. But the deadline, I believe, is on May 6th, and we should maybe start talking about proposals. I'm not sure how this process is done. Are the mentors supposed to talk with one another about the proposal, or is this supposed to be an individual process?
Yeah, so so this is only the second year that we've done this. And last year it was just me and Travis. So he and I just put our heads together and, kind of coordinated on what we thought the best proposals were. This year, we have a kind of a broader collection of potential mentors. And the tricky part is that depending on what project gets accepted or whether we want to accept, various people may or may not be mentors because, each of the potential mentors is for a specific project only. So I don't know from the CNCF organization perspective if they're going to create mentor accounts for everybody or how that works. But at the minimum, we should, as a potential mentor group, we should meet and discuss what we think are the best proposals and which ones are our highest priority for what we think should get the offer. So I have access to all that stuff right now.
I have access too. CNCF sent me an email and made me a mentor and all of that, and I have access to the proposals.
Oh, good. And Dimitri, you're a potential mentor as well, and I think Rohan, you were one as well. Did you all get Google Summer of Code mentor invites?
Yep, I just registered today.
Oh, good. Okay, excellent. So that makes it easy. So how about let's do this. Let's create a Google Summer of Code private Slack channel, and let's discuss the proposals there about which ones that we, the strengths and weaknesses are, talk about that there in that discussion. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I will take a note for that then to create that channel.
So are those all submitted now? It's just time.
Yeah, the student deadline for submissions of the application process has passed, and so they're all in a review. What am I trying to say? They are all in a review period right now for the mentors.
Cool.
What I did, I will say that what I did is that the way the CNCF doing it is kind of odd, where you're not officially selecting ones right now, but you have to give an idea of how many mentors you have and how many proposals you want to take on. And so the proposals that we have are all for different projects, and they all look decent enough that in order to give an input on, and they're all for different mentors as well. I can't believe how it worked out that way. That to give an input to the CNCF of the number of slots that the Rook project can get, I went ahead and selected, as potential mentor for all 4 proposals, since at that stage they're good enough to continue on. If we need to make calls about what's the top one that gets the 1 slot, or how many slots we get, then that's when we need to have more conversation, which we'll do in our Slack channel to start with.
Sounds good to me.
So hopefully we can all mentor. All 4 of us can take on a mentee, and we can get a lot of students involved this summer. That would be awesome, I think.
Yeah, I'm also hoping that this year's GSOC will be even better, because the last one was really great, right?
Yeah, well, ask Rohan.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, his mentors were a little rough on him, but I think
he's still around.
Yeah,
it must have been okay. Yeah, I think it's such a great program and a great way to get people like students involved in the community and involved in open source. I love the Google Summer of Code program.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's get this started then.
Alrighty. Okay, and so we already talked about the NFS dynamic provisioning, and Rohan is going to follow up on looking at that pull request again, and Ashish, I think, will be able to get that in for 1.0. Are there any other community topics, pull requests, anything else that people want to discuss right now? The floor is open.
Jared, I just created a draft pull request for the site. Where did you want me to put that link?
Oh, you can put it in the dev channel on the Rook Slack.
Okay.
If you're in that, yeah, just put a link to that, asking folks to go ahead and take a look there.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yep.
How's Seattle, by the way?
It's lovely. Yeah, it's a nice 50-something degrees.
Nice. Sounds chilly. I don't like it. All right. Okay. Then, so if there aren't any other items to discuss, then we can go ahead and adjourn, and we will continue to follow up on getting this 1.0 release out by the end of the week.
Hey, Jared, this is Rob. I did join just now. Was there anything anyone wants to ask about that launch just before we check out?
Oh, yeah, I think the biggest thing, Rob, is that, since we haven't been doing a good job of everybody, the entire community focusing on what's left in the release and what the tasks are and kind of coordinating everything together, what we're going to do here is that we're going to try to track everything on the 1.0 project board, even non-code changes like blog posts and things like that, so that we have everything in one place with, the entire community eyes all on that in one place. So that's what we're going to try for the rest of the week, and we're going to target end of week to get this release out.
Okay, great.
All righty. And yeah, and we can follow up together too, Rob, if there's any other questions or discussion.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Okay, guys, I will go ahead and stop the recording then, and let's keep working towards this release this week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.